Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for TWiT specials is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Change the tote board, hand over the new clipboard, and ladies and gentlemen, our new number, $4,390. Thank you, everybody, for your donations. We should remind you this is to benefit UNICEF. If you would like to help us out, unicefusa.org/TWiT. Every day children die from preventable causes, and UNICEF takes proven low-cost technologies to save children's lives. And even though it says unicefusa.org/TWiT, it is UNICEF all over the world. And this is a tax-deductible donation in almost every jurisdiction. You should, of course, check with your local jurisdiction. Dan Hoy is on the line. Dan Van Hoy, somewhere over the international date line. Dan, how are you? Dan, can you hear me? No. Okay, that was a false alarm. We're just practicing? Change. So we're going to fix that. There's release the Skype in Leo's office. I probably forgot to do that on Tuesday. TWiT is very happy to be teaming up with UNICEF for this and raise some money for UNICEF. Thank you, Taylor. I got your $100. We're going to add that, make that $4,490 as we go on our way. The next goal, $10,000. Chat room's going to decide what I do when we hit 10, and we're hoping to raise at least $20,000 for UNICEF. And I think each hour I'm going to put another $100 into the kitty myself. Or maybe we should think of something silly that I could offer for extra donations, something like that. UNICEF.org, unicefusa.org/TWiT. We thank you for your donations. We really appreciate it. Your donation helps us get closer to the day when every child has a safe and healthy childhood and a great 2015. Carly! Oh, Carly! So we're going to start our... I have to go to the kitchen for this one because we need a solid, hard floor. And by the way, in an hour, we're going to go to Melbourne for Eastern Australia, Daylight Savings Time, New Year. And we should probably try to get the fireworks out of Sydney Harbor as well. All right, Vince, you ready? Let's take a walk because Carly is going to teach me a new skill. By the way, thanks to our sponsors, Gazelle and ShareFile and Carbonite and Shutterstock and Lynda and Go and ProXPN and Smart Things, Warby Parker and ICOM, and all of our great sponsors all year long. There's even more of them over there, I know. We'll go to both of them for making it possible. Oh, I hear something going on. Is Carly going to teach me how to make popcorn? Carly and Chad are here. Start spreading the word. I'm leaving today. All right. We're going to learn how to tap dance, I'm thinking. All right, here's my hat.
Put your tap shoes on.
All right.
Got you some nice leather tap shoes.
Beautiful. Let's get a mic for Carly. Does she have a mic?
I need my mic.
We don't have a mic, so you're just going to have to shout.
Just shout.
You got fancier tap shoes than
Chad, how do you know how to tap?
I don't.
Oh, so you're going to learn too?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
You make sure you catch me when I fall. Wait a minute, I'm going to sit down.
Yeah.
These are slippery. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew that. I thought, but of course they are because they just metal plates on these shoes.
Yeah. We're going to go slow.
And
Start you out slow.
how do you know how to tap dance, Carly?
I've been tap dancing for 22 years. I used to teach tap dance.
You're only 21. How could that be? Okay. So since you were a little kid,
Yeah.
you've been tap dancing.
Yeah, since I was 5.
All right.
Yeah.
And what are we gonna-
Wait, we need to tie you up.
Wait a minute. We're getting lights. You know what? I'm getting some echo, so we need to make sure we have solved the microphone problem before we actually begin tap dancing.
And we want to make sure you're all laced up.
All right. So John, do you hear that echo? We're getting echo.
So small cup.
And Burke, you can bring out a microphone. Good, we've got a light. We're out here in the TWiT kitchen, which is really as if it was designed for tap dancing.
It really was.
Our beautiful red, black, and white floor. This is the floor that we got when we inherited the building. And we decided not to change it. All right, can I hear you, Carly?
Leo?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We just need to make sure your shoes are tied. We don't want
Oh, you don't want to have loose shoes when you're tap dancing? Okay. Okay, because that would... Can you trip and fall? Wait a minute.
That's how at least 75% of the tap dancing,
Tap dancing injuries? Yeah.
Loose shoes.
Loose shoes.
That was on Business Insider,
Right. I saw that
Steve Kovac wrote that story, yeah. 10 reasons why you want to tie your shoes when tap dancing, I believe. Actually, that would be a good listicle. let's write that one.
Leo, do you want to sit here real quick?
I'm gonna. No. I am incredibly limber ever since Zach taught me how to do yoga.
Now you've warmed up with the yoga. You're good to go.
Zach had been doing yoga for 2 days.
You know, that's
I bet Carly's been doing it for 21 years.
with that hat. You look like an
Zorro.
An Amish tap dancer.
I'm the. No, I can do it. It's the tongue. The tongue keeps flipping back here. All right. Probably doing this for 21 years, you've learned how to tie your shoes by now. All right. Here we go. All right. I tie my shoes the John Madden way.
So I thought
All
we'd
right.
start out with a little warm-up.
Okay.
And get you all warmed up,
Tanya
and then
can't
we're
stop
gonna go
laughing.
down.
Is it the Amish look that's really getting you? This is, you couldn't get me a glitter hat.
Would you
All
like
right. No. All right. Little warm up. Carly. All right. You know what you're doing.
I don't. I'm just
So I
making
think
it
what
look.
we'll do is we're going to stand in kind of a semicircle so you can
Okay.
see me.
Yeah.
So why don't you stand in the middle and then I'll be on the other side.
Okay. And hold your mic real close, okay? So we want to hear every instruction.
Ready?
Hi, I'm the Amish tap dancer. Now Carly will teach us how to tap dance.
Wait,
Okay.
you come. Just get ready. Ready? And right foot ready. And we're going to tap, 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 tap. Quick. And the heel. So just drop your heels down fast.
Like a flamenco dancer.
And tap front. And then semicircle.
Oh.
Other foot. Flat. So brush touch. And step. Other foot.
It's not that hard, is it?
Not that hard.
And we're going to shuffle. So brush, brush. We'll go a little slower.
Are you hitting the heel?
And step. Just the,
I have a
so
little.
what you're going to do is you're just going to use the ball of your foot. So just this area here.
Okay.
And you're going to brush forward and back. So forward, back. Forward, back. That's a shuffle. Shuffle. All right, so now what we're going to do, I think we're pretty warmed up.
I feel good.
You guys feeling warm?
I feel like the little Dutch boy.
What we're going to do now is we're going to flap around the room.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to just do some running flaps.
Flappy Bird.
So what that is, we're going to flap around. So you're just going to do brush, step, brush, step, brush, step. Okay? So
I'm the Amish tap dancer.
now we're going to do flap, ball, change. Flap, ball, change. Flap, back, front. Flap, back, front. Flap, back, front. Good. You guys are doing good.
This is about where you were at the age of 4.
So this is entertainment before electricity.
Before there was television, we used to get together and tap dance.
When it's done.
Don't do it yet. Wait till the song ends. I'm flap badging Dample.
Flap, ball, change. Flap, ball, change. Good. Back, front. Yeah, that's it. Good. So now I thought what we would do.
Doobity,
If you have
doobity.
any questions?
Hello, I'm the Amish tap dancer. Welcome.
So I think what we'll do is I'll do a few moves and then you guys can mimic the moves.
Okay, keep that
So
mic
I
close
do
to your
you-
mouth.
I do, you do, so.
You do, I do.
Okay? I need to put the
Okay.
mic down for a little bit
Oh, okay.
My sock,
Just shout.
my sock was not engineered for tap dancing.
Wait a minute. Here, I'll hold the mic. I'll point it at you. I'm getting happy feet.
Ready to go? All right, so we're going to do...
That's all right.
So, falap, chug, chug. Okay?
Falap.
Falap.
Why do you say
chug, chug.
falap? It's just FLAP?
Well, brush step.
Brush step. Falap.
I did this in college. So I don't know what you're talking about.
In tap jargon, we say falap because we're doing brush step. So you kind of enunciate the
Falap?
flat. Yeah,
Falap.
So I'm
Falap.
going to do it, and then you guys are going to do it right after.
And we're doing it again. Say falap.
Well, I'm going to
Falap.
do it, and then you guys will just
Okay,
watch
good.
And as I do. So ready?
Okay.
So I'm going to do it, and then you'll do it after.
Okay.
Ready? So I'm going to do it first. Ready?
Oh, sure. No problem.
5, 6, 7, 8. Falap, chug, chug. Good. Let's do that again. From the top. So I'll go, you go. Ready? I'll go,
Okay,
you go.
you do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Falap, chug, chug. Falap, chug, chug.
Falap, chug, chug. Falap, chug, chug.
Good. Okay, so one more. Let's do another I do, you do. Ready? So we're going to do, this one gets a little trickier. Are we ready for something a little bit more advanced?
Yes.
Are you sure? You guys feeling sturdy?
My mother thanks you. My father thanks you. And Chad thanks you. Go ahead.
We're going to do a buffalo.
A buffalo.
You guys ready for that? Does Chad know what a buffalo is? He might.
Oh yeah, it's a large animal.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like a bison.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They're great.
The buffalo.
Right.
No, because it's from shuffle off to buffalo.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Leo knows. Yeah. So we're going to do jump, shuffle, jump. You ready for that? It's a little bit more
Are you
advanced.
winded or no?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
This is why people were so thin.
In those days, you didn't see a lot of fat Amish tap dancers.
No.
Okay.
All right, so it's jump, shuffle, jump.
Oh, and I like it too.
Okay.
Jump, shuffle, jump.
So we're going to break this down for you guys, because it's a little harder to I do, you do. So that's good.
Okay.
That's not advanced move, Leo. You can do the heel click?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Good. Yeah, you guys got that one down. That's a little bit more advanced. Good job. So what we're going to do, we're going to break it down.
Okay.
You ready? So
Yeah.
we're going to do, you jump. Okay, so you're going to jump on your right foot, jump. Shuffle, which is the brush forward, brush back. So that's brush forward, brush back. Okay? So you're going to jump, shuffle. Got that part?
Yeah.
Okay. Jump, shuffle, jump back on your left foot. But the catch is that when you jump back on your left foot, you bring your right foot forward like this and you create a little window.
Okay.
So we're gonna jump, shuffle, and then jump back.
You didn't tell me there'd be exercise
Jump,
involved.
shuffle, jump. I told you it's advanced.
There's a window
Shuffle,
here.
jump. You gotta, yeah, that's the window. Good job.
Okay. Jump,
You're doing great.
jump,
Yeah.
shuffle,
Shuffle, jump.
Jump,
Shuffle,
shuffle.
jump.
I shuffle that foot. Okay.
So I'll do the face
Jump,
and you guys
shuffle.
can see me.
Jump. Jump, shuffle,
Yeah,
jump.
that's it. Good job.
Jump, shuffle, jump.
You got it. Good
Jump,
job.
shuffle, jump.
Awesome, you
Shuffle
guys.
off the buffalo.
Yeah.
Shuffle off the
Is that
buffalo.
what we're gonna try to do, you guys?
I love tap dancing.
We're going to do a few of those to the right. You guys ready?
To the right?
Yeah, it's a workout.
We're gonna move.
Ready?
Okay.
To the right. That's your
5,
side.
6, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. You guys are doing great. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys ready to left? That's great. You guys ready to go to the left?
Yeah. The left.
Left. There's another side to this.
Okay.
Sammy, go, me.
Jump,
Ready?
shuffle, left. Jump, shuffle.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, you got it. Yeah, there you go. You guys are good.
Oh, yeah.
Jump, shuffle, jump.
Do you still do this all the time? It's like this is a regular thing for you, or
Yeah, my
do you have
spare
much?
time, yeah.
much occasion to tap dance?
Yeah, I tap dance all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
I love this. I could do this all day.
Let's do it in a circle.
Let's do it in a circle.
Let's do it in a circle. Okay. Jump, shuffle, jump. Ready to go left? Yeah. Good. If you want to make it even more advanced, you can stand on the balls of your feet and don't drop your heels down at all. And point your left foot. Yeah, let's do some arms in this. Yeah, that's good.
Oh.
How do you do CPR?
Oh.
2.
Did you get the defibrillator I asked you to get before the show? Oh. That's good. That's a good workout, isn't it?
Good.
Yeah.
Good cardio.
I like that.
Yeah. Any moves that you're curious about or want to try?
I've always.
Anything you're curious about with tap? Yeah, it's good. Have you worn tap shoes before? You're a pro. Good.
I always see them do this. And I always wonder, what's the big deal?
Oh, yeah.
What's the big deal? Anybody can do that.
Whoa, she's doing it.
What's the big deal? Anybody can do this. That's not tap dancing. That's aerobicized. Okay. UNICEF.org/twit. If anything here impresses you, it's all for sale. Thank you, Carly.
Thanks, Leo.
You're great.
You're a great tapper.
Nice. Chad Johnson. Holy cow. Can you do Minecraft tap dancing? Woo.
Now you can shuffle off the buffalo.
You know what? Now I know why they do that. It's hard work, the thing with the arms.
Yeah.
Whew. And this was supposed to take an hour. So now what? It's only 4:20. Wait a minute, 4:20. What could we do that would use up 40 minutes right now? Chad, let's go. No. Wow. What?
5 minutes.
We have 5 minutes? Because we're going to have a half past the hour? We're going to have an activity. So you built in 5 minutes for me to die. That was good. Whose tap shoes did I borrow there?
These are for you. We bought these for you.
You bought these for me?
They're genuine leather tap shoes.
They're beautiful. Are they from Jack Irwin? No. They don't sell tap shoes. You know what? These are beautiful. Oh, so wait a minute now. You buy the shoes and then you have to actually buy the tap separate?
No, they normally come intact, but we could have gotten the taps and put them on Jack Irwin, but we didn't want to put holes.
Oh, yeah. So these are actually made this way.
Made that way, yeah.
And you know what? You got the right size. They fit beautifully.
Good.
I feel like I'm twinkle toes.
Now you're ready to
I'm going to keep these on.
Good.
You'll hear me coming. It's like belling the cat. Here comes Leo. He's ball shuffle balling in the studio here. Wow, that is good exercise. You can see why people do that because it's a great way to. So between you.
Water next to you, too.
No, actually, I feel good. I feel fine. I'm gonna tap dance into the bathroom, and then I'll be back. Let me just ask you something, Tanya. Did you build any bio breaks into the schedule? No. All right, I'm gonna stop drinking champagne then. I didn't wear, if you're just tuning in, you may notice that I'm kind of wearing an odd outfit. I didn't wear the tuxedo because I was told there would be things like this, but I'm gonna ask you, Tanya, can I put my tuxedo on now?
No. I'm going to say no.
There's more exercise to come, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go back in the studio. You got the clipboard? Yeah. Or should we stay here? Go to the studio, all right. 24 hours. It's time for breakfast with Steve Gibson? I thought that was 6 a.m. Okay, watch out, Amish tap dancer moving.
Stop. Okay.
Thank you.
Ignore the time.
Ignore the time. We're going to do next. we're going to clear your hard drive with Steve Gibson. Reorganizing. By the way, thanks. We've got a bunch of sponsors to thank here, including all the sponsors all year long on the TWiT Network. Audible, NatureBox, Personal Capital. By the way, they're all going to be back next year. ZipRecruiter, Harry's. We love Harry's. Heard from so many people who got Harry's for Christmas. FreshBooks, Casper, PagerDuty, and DX Engineering. Thanks to all of you for your help all year long making TWiT, keeping the lights on at the TWiT Brickhouse Studios. So I'm just going to sit down for a moment. And Steve... You know, this is actually kind of fun. You could do this. I'm singing in the rain. Leo's office? Oh, we're going to stay here. Steve, you came in early today. How are you feeling?
Feeling great.
You're wide awake, huh?
I was asleep. Did you?
I slept. We'll talk about that, actually, because you gave me some good advice.
Glad to know.
Here come some chairs. Which side do you want me on? You want Steve on this side?
Sure.
And I'll go over on the left. Is the hat blocking the light? Certainly, Vince. As much as I love the Amish tap dancing gag. Hey, Steve Gibson came in early. Now, last year you were here making coffee.
Yeah,
and I think you're going to do that because we brought a coffee grinder in for you.
And you know, in 1 year...
Oh, wait a minute. We got to get a mic for Mr. Gibson. So... We're learning how this stuff works, but apparently everybody has to have a microphone.
By noon, this will be all...
Steve Gibson was here for our host dinner a couple of nights ago. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, it's great.
Did you go to bed early last night? We did Security Now yesterday.
Yeah, I went to bed.
You went to bed?
Yeah.
6 p.m. I went to bed.
And how did that work?
It worked great. Steve told me a couple of things. He said melatonin.
Yep.
Under the tongue, sublingual. So I dissolved it. And you know what? The one I got, I didn't know this would happen. It had a delicious cherry taste.
Yeah, I have cinnamon, I think.
Yeah. So apparently they expect you to do that. I got 10 milligrams.
Good.
Some people, you said 20, some said 5. I figured somewhere in between.
I think 10 was because you wanted it to be effective.
Yeah.
You didn't want it like toss and turn.
And then you suggested something called 5-HPT, which is tryptophan.
It's, okay, so the goal is to make serotonin.
Right.
And tryptophan is one of the essential amino acids.
Right.
That protein is made from.
Mm-hmm.
Tryptophan is converted to 5-HTP, which is then converted to serotonin.
Okay.
So you took the one in the middle.
A precursor to serotonin.
Exactly. And the advantage is that it's able It's able to pass through the so-called blood-brain barrier without competing with the other aminos. But tryptophan competes with all the other aminos and requires active transport.
So I took 50 milligrams of 5-HTP. HPT.
Did you notice dreams? Because you tend to have more vivid dreams.
Well, I thought the dreams was because of the opium pipe I smoked after that.
Well, that would have been probably that may be why you actually slept all night.
No, actually, Lisa said, "Oh, that airy fairy stuff ain't gonna work," and she gave me half a sleeping pill, but it's a mild sleeping pill. Anyway, between those three, and then I got in the hot tub. Then I got in the hot tub, and I sat in the hot tub for half an hour. So, and then and then 6 p.m. in bed, and you're right, I was out. I woke up about 1:30, and I felt good, and I'm ready, and we're going to do the whole show. And, you know, last year when we did this, I had a cold, and I had only slept for about 2 hours. I'd been coughing. So I feel like this is going to be piece of cake. No trouble at all. So, why do you seem low? Can we raise Mr. Gibson up? In fact, both of us are kind of low. Let's flip the lever. Oh, look at that.
There we go.
Okay.
Better.
Yeah, that's so much better. So, did you expect to be here at this hour, or?
No, I just thought I'd show up to support the team.
Thank God, because we're filling time. We got another half hour. Is there anything at 4:30? This is we're going to go till Sydney time, and we're going to say hello to Western Australia.
At 4:30?
Eastern Australia.
Oh, at 5.
We're going to go to Melbourne at 5 a.m. our time, which of course would be midnight their time. So we have a little time to kill. I think they thought we'd be tap dancing longer.
Well, I don't think you could have been tap dancing longer.
That's hard work.
That is serious work.
It is more work than you think, because it looks like you're just going deep, 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 deep. But I love these tap shoes, and now I own them. I didn't know. I now have my own tap shoes, so that's lovely. So you last year taught us to make coffee. We do have the coffee grinder if you should choose to make some more.
And I'll tell you one thing, because this is...
Okay.
By nature, I'm always tuning and adjusting and tweaking and testing the limits and making sure there's no improvement to be had.
This is Steve's natural, and I probably should assume that not everybody who's watching knows who Steve Gibson is, although that seems hard to believe. He, of course, hosts our Security Now show.
Fix that right now.
Every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 2100 on UTC on TWiT.tv. But he's also very well known in the security world and in the hard drive world because of SpinRite, the world's finest hard drive maintenance utility. And for 20 years now, Steve has been a hard drive expert. That's really your bread and butter. And today we're going to do what? We're going to refine and improve.
We wanted to talk a little bit about erasing hard drives. We thought that would be a
There is a hard drive.
But, you know, as you said, last year I gave a presentation on Steve's coffee formula.
Which was wonderful. And I still make coffee that way.
And that's my point exactly. There has been not a single change to that recipe, despite my willingness to change anything, to go anywhere, to do anything, to make coffee happen. And I can't improve on that.
You've been making that coffee 365 days later. It's still the best coffee.
Here I am a year later to the hour, and there's been no change.
Okay. Do you want to recap that formula?
Yeah, because I get questions about it all the time. People are like, okay, I need coffee. How do I get the best coffee?
Right.
And so the answer is, for me,
yes.
I start with Starbucks espresso bean, the whole bean.
The whole bean.
So the first thing is, throughout the entire process, oxidation is not your friend. It's not anyone's friend, really. It rusts, and, you know...
We got some champagne that's great for removing rust.
And peers and bodies.
And bodies.
Even us. Antioxidants are anti-rust for human metabolism.
Right.
Same thing is true with
What is oxidation? It's combining with oxygen, right?
Right, exactly.
Rapid oxidation is burning.
Well, and I mean, oxygen
flame
is the, you know, in our atmosphere. We breathe it because we need to chemically combust the food that we eat and generate energy from it.
So we do want oxidation. We just don't want excessive oxidation.
In the case of coffee,
none.
Better to have none.
Zero.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're right. In our body, we have to have oxidation occurring.
Right.
I mean, that's why we're 98.7 typically, above room temperature. That heat is from oxidation.
Oxidation is an exothermic process.
Yep.
A fast oxidation, as I mentioned,
that's why you're
is
sweating
a flame.
right now.
And I have been oxidizing. I am spritzing from the oxidation. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, when I do my famous Quinti Venti latte,
right?
You know,
you're famous at Starbucks for your little persnickety thing that you do.
Yes.
Which is the opposite of how they normally do it.
Correct. Because if you've ever watched an espresso shot being pulled, as they call it, it comes out chocolatey brown, and like within 30 seconds,
it blackens,
turns black.
Yeah.
And
I thought that's how it's supposed to be.
Well, no.
That's oxidation?
That's oxidation. That is the espresso being exposed to oxygen, and it actually sours it. It dramatically changes the taste. So what I tell Starbucks that I want, because I want a latte, because if you're going to have 6 to 8 shots of espresso, you need to cut it with something.
By the way, that's in 1 cup. That's not over a day.
That's 1 latte.
That's 1 latte. Okay. 6 to 8 shots.
So I asked them to steam the milk first, bring it up to temperature, and then to pull the shots into the milk.
So it gets under the air.
Exactly, out of the air immediately, and that protects the actual espresso essence.
And you find it's a smoother, less bitter.
Oh my God! Well, so first of all, if you're going to have 8 shots, you need it not to go bad on you. Because if you got 8 bad shots, 8 black, evil, nasty shots,
that's not good.
No, even whole milk, which is what I drink it with,
does not fix it.
Doesn't help.
So you make the milk, and then you put the shots into the milk instead of into an empty cup and put the milk on top.
Right.
Okay.
And so I have a problem when I go to Starbucks, like when I break in a new Starbucks. Because they don't
understand.
They don't know.
That's not how we do it, sir.
No, exactly. They push a button here, the espresso starts coming, then over here they're steaming the milk.
Right.
And I'm not wanting those things to be separate.
Right.
Anyway, so that's that. Okay, so that's lattes. But that's not the coffee I drink every morning. But still.
Wait a minute. You have a cup of coffee so you can get up, go to Starbucks, and have an 8-shot latte. Is that really it? Pretty much?
I'll do the coffee throughout the day.
Okay.
After I come back.
What role does the 8-shot latte play in this? Is that your first coffee of the day?
It's sort of optional. It's sort of wherever.
If you feel like going to Starbucks, that's how you'll do it.
Starbucks is a social thing.
Okay.
Now, and it is the case.
The coffee grinder is slowly appearing.
That's the grinder. This is the golden
This is the
standard.
one you recommend, the KitchenAid burr grinder.
Right. Now, okay, so several things.
It's about $130, I think, on Amazon.
Technically, look at those greasy beans. Those are just wonderful.
We like greasy beans. So we get that from Petaluma Coffee Company. That's Godfather's Roar. It's not the Starbucks you recommend.
Now, see, the reason I say Starbucks espresso bean is it's universal.
Right.
You could be wherever time zone we're in right now and find those beans.
There's another advantage. They sell a hell of a lot of it, so it's going to tend to be fresher.
Yes. Yes.
You don't want stale beans is the worst. The fresher, the better.
And that was my point, is my machine, this machine of mine at home, has this little reservoir empty.
Okay, you don't ever put beans in there.
There are no beans sitting there.
You don't want them to get stale.
Exactly. What is in there? Oxygen.
Do you put them in a sealed bin?
Yes.
Yes.
I use, the vacuum bin where you pump the air out of the wine bottle.
Yeah.
You can get containers, sort of like Tupperware.
Where you pump the air out of it.
And I pump the air out. So I'm a little obsessive about this.
No, I wouldn't. Why would you say that?
Okay, now the fact that they're beans means that they have their structural integrity and oxygen is not getting deep
inside them,
into them.
The surface.
But you're still there. So the point is, once they've been ground, the timer starts.
Right.
And that timer is not our friend.
No.
No. So
do they actually oxidize after they're ground?
That's when they begin. Well, because what you've done is by grinding them, you've dramatically increased the surface area.
Yeah.
So rather than there just being an outside shell that is exposed to oxygen, now it's powder.
Mm-hmm.
So my grinder at home, this tank is empty. I pull the lid off of my vacuum bin.
And you quickly pour it in.
And I hear it go.
Yeah.
As all the air goes in.
Yeah.
Then I take one scoop of beans, a level scoop, and put it in here.
Do you start pumping the air out of the vacuum bin right away?
Immediately. Because, again, there's another
beans.
timer. My life is full of them. So now we've got, and the reason I chose this grinder is it grinds straight through. It's a drop-through grinder.
Right.
There is no other reservoir. They're not being stored anywhere. And I set mine, where is it?
We have it turned all the way up, but you don't like it that way.
No. See, I'm grinding. So up means tight.
Right.
You can see the knob going in.
We have it set to 7 or 8.
Yeah, so that's more, that's more of an espresso grind. Mm-hmm. I grind at 3.
Okay, it's a coarser grind.
I'm doing a drip grind.
Got it.
Because that's the key, is I'm using the espresso bean, but I am brewing for drip.
Mm-hmm.
So turn this on. That one shot of beans drops right through. Also, I use what most people are familiar with is sort of the Melita style filter.
So it's a conical
brown
filter.
Paper.
Yeah, and it goes in a plastic holder, and you pour the beans in and then drip the water through. But you don't use a Melita.
I don't use the Melita brand.
When I was growing up, we used Chemex, which was based on chemistry gear, right? So it's a figure 8 glass pot, and you'd actually get flat paper filters, which you'd then fold and fold again to make a cone.
Right.
And that's actually how they did it in chem labs. I think that's where that came from. Well, but that's not what you do. What do you do?
So I should explain that also life is full of trade-offs.
Yeah.
Timers and trade-offs.
Right.
And so what I've worked at finding is the most practical thing that I can do to make coffee.
Right.
That is really delicious, but that is practical.
Right.
So, for example, I have an industrial-size espresso machine plumbed into...
I remember when you got that.
Yeah, and you should never buy anything on the internet that doesn't have like a pencil next to it in the photo. Because this refrigerator showed up. And it looks so small on the web page. And I said, okay, that looks cute, and I'm used to the little Starbucks machines that, and what happened is the water is so bad in Southern California that it used to kill espresso machines. I'd get about 6 months out of a machine, and all the scale would build up, and there's all kinds of delicate stuff going on inside. So I would just go through them. Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, I need plumbing.
With filters.
With the whole deal. I have a 5-stage.
Yeah.
It took a whole 3-day weekend under the sink to set that up. Reverse osmosis and the whole thing. So this thing comes, and it's like, oh my Lord! Because as I said, don't be careful when you buy.
I think
from
we were
the
doing a security now when it arrived, and I think we actually have a recording of Steve going, "Oh my Lord, what is that?"
Yeah,
it was huge.
So
okay.
The point is that you go through all this with pushing buttons and grinding and putting the filter holder in, and you get like not enough coffee for all that work. So the point is,
get the little shot.
Oh,
I want more.
You know,
8 of those I need.
Throw that back, and now it's time to do it again. So this process generates 5, what they call 5 cups. It's really like 2.5. Yeah. So I have a 5-cup drip brewer.
Okay.
And
like a Mr. Coffee?
Yeah, and I don't remember the brand.
Just some sort of.
It's that funky. It's like. It's a Juru-Jitsu or Kuru-Nitsu.
Yeah,
or
some Japanese name. Something.
Yeah. And so they say 5 cups.
Right.
Because here's another problem. If you do the traditional 10 cups.
Yeah.
Okay, unless you're like really thirsty.
Unless you're tossing the pot back.
Again,
it's too much.
Oxidation.
Right. And
we know that coffee that sits. Okay, 2 things happen if the coffee's sitting on the burner.
Well, anybody who's ever worked in an office and has left the coffee on the burner for a while, it's something goes really badly wrong.
It's burning.
Yeah.
So you don't want the coffee to sit there on a hot plate for long.
Yeah.
And
it caramelizes. You could tell it's burned.
Yeah. It's bad. And oxidation again, in the same way, at a lesser speed than espresso oxidizes, which is like you can watch it turn black before your eyes. But like half an hour later, it doesn't taste the same.
No, fresh is good. Yeah.
So the problem was 10 cups too many, 5 cups just right.
Okay.
And 1 shot, don't even get
Now
going.
let me ask you about the temperature of the water. So this brewer is it's not boiling it.
No, and it uses that really cool standard, drip brewer technology where you put so you fill a tank full of
cold
reverse
water.
Osmosis,
pure cold water.
You can't have some chlorinated gunk going in there.
Yeah.
And it'll kill the machine too, because you have to you want to keep that thing going too.
Right.
So water that you'd be fine drinking, and I haven't had that much coffee yet this morning. I really don't need.
He's a
coffee.
little obsessive, but okay. No, that's why we love him. All right. So
cold water goes in,
and it does something.
And that freshly ground one scoop goes in.
Yeah.
That and it drops.
1 scoop.
That because it's espresso. So
5 cups, 1 scoop.
Yes. Now the other thing people get wrong about espresso.
And by the way, this is not the machine you use.
No, it's the Kitsu.
This we don't even know why this is here.
I bet if someone were to Google 5 cup on Amazon has it.
Yeah.
5 cup drip brew.
Okay, look it up, chat room. Yeah. Chat room is our research assistant.
Good.
All right.
Randall's somewhere.
Yeah, Randall's here. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, it'll take a second because they're a little delayed. Yeah. Okay, there it is.
Oh, there it is. And
Zoji Rushi.
That's the one.
They're quite good.
Ruchi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody loves those. Okay.
Yes. So that's the one. $56 on Amazon. $57 right now.
Yep.
And I feel right at home now because that's what I
know that
I confront that every morning.
All right.
And so the point is that uses, and you can see in the picture there that it's dropping in. That is, the filter holder goes like most of the way down into the carafe that the coffee.
Again, less oxygen.
Yes. Well, you only need 5 cups.
Okay.
So that the paper filter. This actually, I think I broke it like pretty quickly.
Yeah. In fact, I broke it immediately, and I got a new one.
Yes.
But you don't even use that anymore.
It's not even in the house. The filter goes underneath.
Yep.
The ground coffee drops right through.
So you don't measure it; you just know how much is a scoop.
Well, because a scoop,
you measured it there,
and that's the point. Yes, this is empty.
Yeah.
So I put a scoop in,
and that scoop is how big?
It's a good question. 1 ounce, I think.
Okay.
It's like a standard.
A 1 ounce scoop of bean.
1 ounce scoop of bean
goes right through.
Right through. Grinds for drip, not for espresso.
Which is number 3 on the.
And this is a burr grinder.
Yeah.
We should talk about that too.
Yeah.
The cheesy thing that they sell for $9.
Blade grinder. Yeah.
Yes. What it does is it fractures the beans,
right.
and you get a range of sizes. You get chunks that never quite contact the blades, and dust.
Right.
And you know, so
neither of which do you want.
Well, because the dust ends up allowing bitter oils to get extracted from the brewing process. Okay. So this is a so-called burr grinder. There are two burr wheels counter-rotating. The bean goes in, and what comes out is a uniform, crunched-up coffee bean.
Right.
At a fixed size. So that's the other reason that this is the one you want. So you get uniform burr ground coffee, drops into the filter. That we then run through the Zorozitsu with its fresh water.
Yeah.
And we get 5 cups.
Okay.
And the point is, even though that sounded like I just pressed a button.
Don't press any buttons.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still alive.
Okay. Even though that sounds like a lot, it's worth it for 5 cups.
Okay.
And so that's the right amount. You can.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's how you erase a hard drive. Thank you, Steve. No. We weren't going to do a coffee segment.
Well, but
people wanted to know.
Yeah. If coffee is life.
Yeah.
Coffee is life.
Before you erase your hard drive, make sure you have a perfectly brewed 5-shot cup of coffee.
That's a good start on the process. Because erasing a hard drive takes some time.
So is there a page on your site on this? No.
No.
We should get one.
I really should.
Yeah, grc.com. There's pages on everything, but for some reason, not this yet.
No.
All right.
And the point was, in a year, there's been no improvement.
No change.
This is what I described a year ago.
Perfect cup of coffee.
Here I am again.
And you drink it black. You don't put it.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
No, and, okay, that's the other thing. It then goes into the Contigo thermos.
Yeah, those are great. I love those.
It is.
Those are the ones that have the little button.
The little grippy guy. Yeah. In order to keep it hot, and the Contigo, it's a double stainless steel vacuum insulated.
Those are really great.
It keeps it hot for hours.
Until we get that new cup that we kickstarted.
Oh, the 10 Perfect.
That's how we're going to work.
I keep getting
Hasn't happened yet.
They have not given up yet.
Now, Steve's real area of expertise, actually, I shouldn't say real area because you have many areas of expertise, but first became known as a hard drive guru thanks to SpinRite. Actually, even before then, you were doing other things, but SpinRite has really put your name on the map. And we thought we would talk about clearing your hard drive.
Right.
Now, we are in 18 minutes going to do our
next
thing.
Iteration.
And by the way, I have this out of order, so we're going to go at 4:50 to Melbourne, Australia, and Russell Phillips, who will be celebrating New Year 2015 in Australia. So
cool.
You have about 10 minutes to do this.
Okay. So the problem is these things have gotten big.
Yeah.
They've gotten ridiculously big.
3 terabytes, and now there's even bigger ones, aren't there?
Yeah, there's 10, I think, now.
10.
And they've done, and there's like amazing stuff going on. They've filled them now with helium. It used to be that you just sort of have a porous filter, and so the inside was the same as the outside.
I remember that. They had a port on there.
Yeah.
But it was filtered so no dust would get in.
You didn't want dust to get in, but you wanted pressure to be equalized and just sort of it to be, happy inside and out. Mm-hmm. But the problem was that there's too much friction from regular air, whereas helium actually creates a lower friction with the spinning disc, because the disc wants to drag the air with it, and so you want as a lower density gas so that it's easier to spin. So the motor has to work less hard to overcome the actual friction with the air.
Wow.
Very much like your car driving down the street. It's pushing a dam of air ahead of it.
Right.
So if it were in vacuum, it would be happier. But you still need a gas there because you need the head to float over the surface of the disc.
It's actually flying.
It's actually flying. And if you had a vacuum, nothing would keep the head over.
But helium's sufficient density to raise the head up.
Well, that's the other thing. It is so much lower density than air that the head flies much closer.
But that's
to the
good.
disc. That's good because you actually sort of you can think of it as an image on the disc, and the further away you are, the less acute the focus. Think of it like an image with focus.
Right.
You want to be focused in order to resolve the 1s and 0 bits. And if you're further away, they tend to blur together. You can't sense them.
So helium has 2 benefits, less friction and the head flies lower.
Yes, and less friction allows more platters, so they're able to get more surfaces in the same area.
And that's where you get higher data density.
You get higher data density from the head being closer. That allows the focus to be tighter. And the other thing is that power consumption is a problem. Remember the days when drives were really hot.
Right.
That's primarily, well, there's two motors. There's the motor spinning the disc, and there's the motor moving the head.
The actuator motor.
Yes. Yeah. And in fact, one of the things that people notice when they're running SpinRite on laptops is sometimes SpinRite will stop and say that we're getting too hot.
I've had that happen.
Yes.
It waits till things cool down a little bit.
Yes, and so it's not the fact that the drive is spinning all the time, because it's always spinning. Yes, it's the other thing that actually that generates heat and consumes energy is the microscopic motions of the head. Because even though from the outside not much seems to be going on, it's actually it's accelerating and decelerating the head in tiny little increments, and that. The acceleration requires power, and then stopping it, like putting the brakes on your car, that generates heat in your brake pads, because you're having to convert that the momentum back into heat and to stop it. So anyway, we were going to talk about erasing, because the problem is, as drives have gotten bigger, people always have drives they used to be using. But the drives they used to be using has all their stuff on it.
Yeah, that's the one you want.
And and the problem is, how do we get rid of this stuff? I mean, it was good.
Or don't want.
Exactly. We've upgraded to a larger drive, much bigger drive.
Right.
But now we've got a drive we used to be using. It still exists.
Right.
And so we need to erase the drive. Okay, now, there's been a lot of focus and thought on the problem of erasing a drive, because what we know is that there is what's known as residual magnetism. You can, if you have data that is laid down and you come and sort of plow over it again, what you're doing is you're adding a new field to what was always there. It is an additive process. Mm-hmm. So, for example, you can have a magnet that is magnetized, and you can magnetize it more. That is, magnetization is an analog process. It's not digital. Mm-hmm. And so we have an existing pattern of magnetization, and we're coming along and adding our own new magnetization, like we're wanting to write zeros on top of everything. What we're actually doing is we're adding what's there to what was there before.
You're not really erasing.
Correct. There is really no thing as erasing data.
Well, there would be, I guess, in the old days in radio, we would degauss tapes. You'd run them over a giant-ass magnet.
Even so,
there was still some residual after that?
Yes, the process of magnetization is additive. And what we know is...
So you can't really randomize this completely? I guess you could with a big magnet, couldn't you?
Well, I mean, the bigger the better.
Yeah.
The problem is...
These were electromagnets. There was a conveyor belt. You put it on one end, and it goes zzz, and you'd actually see as the magnet got a hold of the tape, it'd start shaking, zzz, and then go off. I would imagine that's pretty good.
And that's the problem, is, as they say, close only counts...
Yeah.
What is it? Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Hand grenades, yeah.
Yes. And so people are worried about sufficiently removing their data from a drive.
And nowadays with the NSA and presumably extreme government skills...
They would love, maybe, depending upon who you are.
But so is there some presumption that there actually are techniques that you could look at this latent magnetism and read what was on the drive?
So Peter Gutmann did a famous paper where he talked about how many times you had to go over the data to sufficiently push it into the past. Like every time you erase, you're adding new data on top, and you could think of it as like pushing what was there, like further down.
Right.
And then if you do another pass over it, now you're pushing what you had just pushed down.
So that's
the data before even further away.
The source of these DOD erases, where you do a zero, then you
multi-pass erasing.
You write zeros, then ones, then zeros, then ones.
Some people believed at one point you had to do it 33 times.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's what Peter researched, but his research was back in the MFM days, the modified frequency modulation days, back with when we had 20 megabytes. Instead of terabytes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Not gigabytes, not terabytes, megabytes. I mean, you could almost see the bits with a naked eye.
Yeah. So presumably it's gotten harder as data densities have gone up.
Well, yes. And in fact, the requirements for doing really good erasing have dropped. The requirements have dropped because the bits are now so small that you're lucky to get anything back even if you haven't overwritten the data, which is why I'm still in business.
That's the irony of this is, for all of that, it's so easy to lose stuff on a hard drive.
Yes.
Unless you have the secret superpowers of the NSA.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what do you recommend?
So I will eventually do
an eraser.
An eraser. I've trademarked the name Beyond Recall. And I will be using the next version of SpinRite 6.1s.
That'll have that as a feature?
Well, I'm going to use that technology.
Okay.
I wanted to build it in to the next SpinRite.
Right.
But the community that I work with in the GRC forum said, no. Do not mix.
That's true. Accidentally pushing the wrong button could be a bad thing.
Screens.
Don't do this.
Are you sure you want to do this? Because that would be.
But I think it's probably prudent to separate the two.
And so I'm going to do that. And so it'll be but it'll use SpinRite's 6.1 super high speed technology. All I'm going to do is a couple passes of random data,
not zeros and ones, but random data.
And the reason is if you know what you've written, then you know what to expect, and you're able to account for that.
Those are zeros. I can ignore that data. Let's see what's below there.
Exactly.
Wow.
You actually.
So it's better to do random stuff.
It is better to do. Yeah. It is better to do a couple passes of random because you can always read the top layer. The top layer is what the drive is designed to give you back. Whatever you most recently wrote, you hope you're going to read.
Now, we could do what the GCHQ does in Britain, which is that, then degauss, open up the drive, take out the platters, degauss them, then smash them grind them into fine bits, then store it in a vault in the basement.
And if you then brew it.
Steve Gibson is the king of hard drives and is, of course, the host of Security Now and is a master on all things hard drive. We didn't even get into the issues with SSDs, which is somewhat more difficult to erase.
True, and the one thing we didn't talk about is the spare sectors.
Yeah,
because that's what upsets people.
It may erase where data has been stored, but there's slack space.
Right.
Stuff that was storing data but is no longer used in the file allocation table.
So we'll be back next year.
Let's get rid of slack space too. Your thing will go sector by sector.
Yes.
Right? It won't look at a file system. It'll just erase everything.
Oh boy, but there will be nothing in its wake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sector by sector. And then SSDs, your thing probably wouldn't work on because of the wear leveling on an SSD. Well, maybe it would if it gets every sector.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the revelations for me was when we started learning that SpinRite repairs SSDs.
Yeah.
That when I thought, whoa, okay, I'm not out of business yet.
Good news. Steve's the greatest. It's so nice to have you. And you're going to stay. Will you be dancing later because we have some music and...
I don't. Was Captain Kirk anywhere?
We'll see if we can find a Captain Kirk cutout for you to dance with. Steve did that famously last year. Thank you for being here so early in the morning. It's not quite 5 in the morning here in Petaluma.
Glad to be.
Or Irvine. And stick around as long as you want. We love having you here. And I think we'll see some more with Steve in just a little bit.
You bet.
I think it's time to walk over to the New Year's set. And I see a smiling face coming to us from Melbourne, Australia. So should I do that now? Do you have an opinion? All right. I will get up and I'm going to tap my way. Is there a reason you gave me a hard hat? Anything? Just no? Okay. I'm going to tap dance.
Tap all the way over.
Shuffle my way over, Carly. Start spreading the news. First of all, let's see how we're doing. Remember that this whole event, this whole 24 hours of 2015 event is to raise money for a great cause, UNICEF, which worldwide is helping children all over the world. And I have my thermometer. We'll check. Holy. Somebody's destroying a hard drive over there. Thank you very much. Is it dead yet? Thank you very much. Let's go right now, though, to Melbourne, Australia. We'll take a look at the thermometer in a bit. And Russell, hey, Russell Phillips.
Hi, Leo. Good to speak to you again.
Happy New Year. Did we talk to you last year?
Same time last year.
That's awesome. What is the tradition?
We also visited you in the TWiT's studio back in March,
too. That's great. That's wonderful. Is that your lovely wife sitting behind you there?
Yeah, she is.
What's her name?
Peter.
Hi, Peter. And Happy New Year to you. And who's that over on your left shoulder there, Russell?
That's my sister.
So it's a family event. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, what are the traditions in Australia for New Year's? Do you have a television broadcast? Here we have the Rocket New Year's Eve we watch.
Yeah, we have Melbourne and Sydney both have big firework displays. So that one TV channel shows Sydney, one shows Melbourne.
We saw the Sydney fireworks display last year. It really looks spectacular.
Yeah. Sydney had the Harbour Bridge, so it's pretty hard to compete with that.
Yeah. So that's what the girls are watching behind you there.
Yeah, the Melbourne one, I think they got on. Yeah.
Great. And I should get a bottle of champagne because in about 4 minutes you're going to enter 2015. Russell, what are your hopes for 2015 personally? What do you want for the next new year?
Oh, just good health and good times with my wife and family.
I think that seems very sensible, very sane. Well, we're going to count down with you because we've already celebrated New Year's in New Zealand. They were the first a couple of hours ago. And we are going to celebrate every time zone. And we have callers from almost every time zone. And we have 27 bottles of fine champagne. And I'm going to try to aim somewhere away from our talent and staff here on. Do you have any? Do you drink a little champers on New Year's Eve in Melbourne?
We had a bottle of ours earlier in the evening.
Of course. So. Now, let me ask you, because when I was in Tasmania, there was quite a rivalry between the North and the South and the breweries. What is the brewery you favor in Melbourne?
At Carlton.
Carlton.
Foster's, Victoria Bitter.
You don't drink Foster's.
No, VB.
It is American for Australian beer. All right. So who have we nominated this time? We have Anthony Nielsen in the Crash outfit. He's prepared to. He's going to catch. I'm going to pitch a lovely cork of champagne. I'm holding on tight to it because we have 2.5 minutes before New Year. Are you going to get the gang with you to count down with us here in the studio?
Certainly will.
All right. With any luck, the Skype delay will only add a few minutes of delay. There's Peta. And your sister's name again?
Rosemary.
Rosemary and Peta. Get up off your feet. All right. Get ready. We've got 2 minutes. Now, remember, the numbers go in order backwards, okay? You got that? All right, we'll start you at 10 seconds to go. This is the awkward moment where we just kind of wait as the clock ticks over. The fireworks are going, do they start at midnight or do they go off earlier?
No, well, in Melbourne they start at midnight, but we've got people we're in a beach resort about an hour's drive south of Melbourne. And we've got people in the backyards letting crackers off.
So you're not in Melbourne proper. What's the name of the town you're in?
Torquay.
Is somewhere I should visit the next time I'm down under?
Beach, a very nice place, yeah.
I love the beaches in Australia. They're just gorgeous.
Yep.
We took a lovely ferry ride in Sydney, and what a beautiful area, and Bondi Beach and all those great places.
Yep.
But we didn't get down to Melbourne.
We're not far from Bells Beach, which is the famous surf beach
Bells
in Australia.
Beach. Yeah. Do you surf?
No, my brother does, but I don't.
Okay. 1 minute to count down. Melbourne, Australia. You are UTC minus 10. Is that right? Plus 10.
Plus 10, yeah, but we're in daylight saving here now. Yeah.
All right, and you're in daylight savings, which gives you a little extra time to celebrate. All right. 1 minute now in counting down. Our clock is pretty accurate. I think it should match yours pretty closely, except for the Skype delay. Anthony Nielsen in necktie, goggles, and hard hat is preparing to receive the ritual cork. Fortunately, unfortunately, these are hard plastic instead of actual cork, so they hurt like heck. Anthony, you feel good? All right.
Fingers crossed.
Let's hope we don't poke an eye out. And which shows do you watch on the TWiT network?
TWiT, Security Now, and Windows Weekly.
There you go, Steve. Russell's a fan. All right, yep. Windows Weekly and TWiT.
Boys.
That's all. Isn't Steve the greatest? We just love him.
Yeah.
And for him to be here. All right, so you want me to aim at the smiley face? Okay. All right, get ready. The balloon drops. And 10, 9, 8, 7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year! Woo! And it's a Happy New Year in all of Eastern Australia and in Melbourne. And a Happy New Year to you, Russell, and all of your family and everybody there in Australia. Woo! The fireworks, let them begin! Delicious. Thank you, Russell. Thank you, everybody. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. And let's check and see how our thermometer is going. Remember, we're doing all of this to raise money for UNICEF, unicefusa.org/twit. And we are now up to $4,875. Thanks for your donations, everybody. We're going to 10,000. Then the chat room is going to make me do something crazy. 20,000, our ultimate goal today. And, of course, UNICEF is a great cause to save and help the children of the world and make it a better 2015 for all of them. Happy New Year, Melbourne.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Happy New Year.